Welcome to today's tutorial. Today we are going to be talking about how to make another method of our insecticide. You know, actually a lot of customers have been trooping in to buy insecticide, and some of them will ask me, is there anything that is very concentrated that can deal with these mosquitoes? Then I thought of this video. You know, in our world of production, we have so many methods of producing different things. So today, like I said earlier, we are going to be making insecticide. Yes, I've made a form of insecticide on this video, on this channel before, but watch this and you will be able to view the difference. For those of you that intend to sell, retailers, for those of you that intend to supply, for those of you that are actually using, maybe helping other people to fleet their environment and against mosquitoes and reptiles and any insecticide, this is the video to watch. I am Folorunsho Olutayo Oyebisi, and let's drive straight into the video. Yeah, well, welcome to the production setting. Like the norm, I would like to introduce us to the different reagents we'll be using today. Here is our attack. It's another form. You know, I made an initial video about this, and I told us that we have different kinds of DDVP. Now this is another type. Attack is the name. It's another reagent, a product. You know, different companies produce different kind of this. We have the DD4, the no pest. Here today I'll be using attack. I'll be showing us another way to produce insecticide. You know, there are some insecticide that they are indoor and some are outdoor. This may be very appropriate for both indoor and outdoor, but majorly for outdoor. Then for people that want to sell this, it usually has a more beautiful outlook than the previous one we did. However, it is still very, very, very effective for insecticide. If you can see the body of this, you can see the different insect written on it, so that you'll be sure that this will be really effective. Now, this is 250 ml of this attack. I'll be cutting it open and I'll be using this as the base of my production. Here is my measuring container for me to do this production. So we are making a concentrated insecticide. If you are selling, you produce this concentrated for those people that are interested in selling the product. Now here is my fragrance. We are going to be adding little fragrance to this. Here is my phenol. Phenol is very corrosive. We use it in hazard production and sometimes in insecticide production, like I'm about to do. They also had a pinch of it in the top production. I said it in the previous video I made on antiseptic, not Dettol. It's a form of Dettol, but it is called antiseptic. Here is my Texapon. I'll be using Texapon in this particular production. I didn't use this in the previous one I did. Texapon is acting as a solvent in this production, so it's going to help us to dissolve our oils and make it blend well with water appropriately. Now we'll be using our industrial camphor. As you can see, industrial camphor works against insects and germs and stuff like that, so I'll be using my industrial camphor. So talking about the measurement, I'll be using 250 ml of my attack. I'm using 10 ml of my fragrance. I'm using just 20 ml of my phenol, even though this is almost 100 ml. I'll just be using 20 ml. Then I'll be using 20 gram of my Texapon. I'll be using 50 gram of my camphor. And sorry, I was almost forgetting this. I'll be using 250 ml of my ethanol. Ethanol is another form of alcohol, so I'll be using 250 ml. It looks exactly like water, but it's actually not water. Now let's go straight into the production. So I'll be scooping in my Texapon into this container. I told us I'll be using 20 gram of my Texapon. You can decide to use more, it's left to your choice, but 20 gram is just appropriate for this little production we are doing. So I usually receive messages for some people after making this 1 liter. Maybe somebody will message me that what measurements will I use to make 10 liters. please multiply or divide what I've done to get that particular liter you are inquiring from me, and you will have a very wonderful. Now I'm cutting up my attack. You can use the back of your spatula to cut it open like I'm doing now. It still usually has another steel, you know, in it. So you are going to please be careful while doing this. Be very careful while doing this so that it will not probably split on you. You can see, and that is why you are expected to put on a glove to make some of these productions. In fact, make sure you are putting on a glove. If you are not used to this, put on a glove, put on your nose mask, and please be protected. Now I'll be pouring in I'll be using my funnel. Sorry, I need to get my funnel. Here is my funnel. I'll be pouring in my attack into the jar. I'll be covering it up, and I'll be giving it a thorough shake. For those of us that have been sticking around, you remember when we made our antiseptic, we did something like this. For those of us that are newbies, please check our previous videos. When we did the air freshener, we also did something like this. Texapon, we usually use it in chemical world as a solvent. So I'm dissolving this by breaking it this way. Now thereafter, I'll be adding in, here is my alcohol. I'll be putting in my camphor, industrial camphor this time. There are several kinds of camphor. We even have synthetic camphor that we put in our water, maybe for those people that are having stomach troubles. But today I'll be using industrial camphor, and I'll be pouring it this way into my alcohol. I hope you can see this. Yes, I'm done with that. Thereafter, I'll be covering this and also shaking it together. Please make sure the lid is well covered so that it doesn't split on your face. You can see that the cover is well covered. So I'm dissolving this. Thereafter, while I wait, you know, I added camphor to this while waiting for this to totally dissolve. Now I'll be adding my phenol to this while I'll be waiting for my camphor to totally dissolve. I deliberately used a container like this that has this kind of cover so that I can easily press in my phenol. So don't forget, I said I'll be using just 20 ml, just a pinch. You can decide to use all if this is basically an outdoor, and this is around over 50 ml because this container is 250 ml. You can see the level at which it is. So my phenol will just remain there. So if you are using this for outdoor, you can add the whole 50 ml of your phenol. Sometimes the other video I made on insecticide, sometimes we also add phenol to the video, to the product. So phenol will just make the insecticide more corrosive. But if you have children, if you know you'll not be able to stay outdoor for long before you come, after you have done the fleeting of the house, please don't bother adding phenol. So now this is totally dissolved, and this is totally dissolved. I'll be adding them together. Oh, sorry. Before adding in my alcohol, I'll be adding in my fragrance. I'm adding in my fragrance to this. I hope you can see this. I'm using just 10 ml of my fragrance. You can use any kind of fragrance, like I've always said. You Can you see there's a slight reaction in the bowl? So I'll be shaking it together. So this particular season, mosquito and all those insects have been disturbing. Try this out and you will thank me for it. You know, if you are selling this, you can make production. We sell everything. Majority of those things we use on the channel are sold in our walk-in store, and distance is not a barrier. I'm adding the already mixed alcohol and industrial camphor to the solution, and you can see a reaction as the foaming strength is reducing totally. Yes. Now, for those of us that have watched the previous video, you will remember that in that previous video, our solution was color-like. You know, it was having maybe an orange or a red color. I can't even remember now. However, this particular production is colorless, or having like a golden sort of color. Now, we can see that this is the end of our production by adding this to cover and using this. But if you are using this like this, it's either there's a wild, you know, invasion of mosquito while you'll be using this raw. If that is not the case, this particular production, you are supposed to add 2.5 liters of kerosene to it. You can reduce it to 2 liters if you want it to be more, to have more strength. Now, I'm trying to explain how you can beautify these products. I'll be pouring a little out of it here. For those of us that intend to use it at home, you can use this as well at home. I'm just pouring a little so that I can demonstrate. And I'll be getting my water. So I said that we can use this like this. We can add our 2.5 liters there. Now, putting this aside, here is my phenol. I'm trying to get water so that I can demonstrate to you. Okay. Okay, here is my water. Now, I removed a little out of this here just to demonstrate to us that when you add water, the solution will be different from this. So this is a component that you package and sell for those people that want to add kerosene or even add diesel by themselves. It's concentrated. So please be aware that this attack goes between 1,000 and 2,000. I think between 1,2 and 1,8 right now. So let me just calculate 2,000 naira. I always prefer to make an higher calculation than what you will meet in the market. Instead of making a lower calculation and you will get to the market, you will meet something higher. The Texapon that I used is just an 100 naira Texapon. The camphor that I used is 500 naira camphor. So adding that, we're adding 2,000 to 500, 2,500 to our Texapon. That is 2,600, and the alcohol that I used is just 500 naira, and that makes it 3,100. So this production, our phenol also will worth 100 naira. That makes it 3,002. So we add something around over 500 ml for 3,002. That's why I said it's a concentrated one. Please don't misquote me. You can get it cheaper. Maybe instead of 3,002, it could be 2,800, around that calculation. But you should prepare your mind that insecticide that is concentrated like this, they're not really cheap. So individuals that wants to use this like this will just use this to cover it. They will make sure they cover up themselves. Individuals cannot stay in this place where this is used. Please take notes and don't learn from experience. You cannot split this and stay inside that environment. You see, this concentration we have made, you can't split it and stay inside that place. You have to leave that place for a minimum of 24 hours. When you come back, you put on maybe the ventilator, you open up the fan or AC, you open your windows if there is net there, so that the smell will go out. Then thereafter, you can probably come to spray the place with maybe air freshener to make the place habitable. However, I decided to add fragrance to this so that we can have a little smell. If you don't have air freshener thereafter, now this is 250 ml. I'm adding water to this. The measurement of what I add inside this is around 100 ml. I measured 250 ml of water, which I will not be adding. I will not be adding the whole. So this container is around 330. So I have added water, and you can see that the solution is having a milky consistency. What that means is that if you can see, what this means is that if you want an insecticide that will have this outcome, you make this production and you add your water and you are good to go. So you will have maybe some people that have come across insecticide out there. You'll be wondering how come some of the insecticide ends this way, you know, having this milky solution, and some of the insecticide end this way. Here is the reason. We have added water to this, not just because of the water, also because of our Texapon. We have dissolved, we have made this solution, the water and the oil, to come together as one. Now, in some cases, you may have this settling this way, the lighter portion up and the milky portion down. If you don't want this kind of situation, you add more Texapon at the initial stage when you are mixing this. But if you prefer it this way, your 20 grams of Texapon is okay. But if you want a consistency that will give you this milky solution throughout, please add your Texapon to be more. So I hope that we understand this explanation. If you need more of such trainings and detailed explanation about some of these productions, about household, please DM me so that I can put it through. I can tell some of us the classes we are going to join in our paid class. Now, the end product of this thing, like I always say, will be posted on our Instagram handle. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please subscribe, as you will help the YouTube algorithm with this video. So we have made an insecticide today. Insecticide, you know, something that will kill the insects, kill them, finish, you know, make sure that everything, mosquito or insect or any crawling insect, cockroaches around the environment, that will be their end. Please take note that this is highly flammable. You cannot flip this beside naked fire. It is highly flammable. You can't flip it in your kitchen when there is gas. You cannot flip it in the kitchen and then put on your gas thereafter. So please take note that this is very dangerous. It's not something you can leave where children are. Maybe you can leave near naked fire, or maybe children will be able to have access to it. I do hope that you enjoyed this video, and if you do, please give this video a thumb up so that will serve as an appreciation. If you have any questions, I'll be right here waiting for your questions in the comment section. Thank you, and see you in my next video.